Hey everybody. So I'm just getting over a really bad cold, and it made me start to think about the various articles and videos in the paper, the news, talking about vaccines and anti-vaccines. So I had philosophical conversations with my friends, and I may or may not have changed my personal beliefs about the issue, but I want you to start thinking about your kids, your students, and what the anti-vaccine movement is doing to classrooms and legalization, various things in that issue. We'll start off with the first article that I found, Wednesday, February 4th, by Josh Kovner. And I thought it was cute, the research that he did. He put little pictures of the states and what percentage of people are vaccinated. Looks like Mississippi is the largest, with 99.7% of its population being vaccinated. Connecticut comes in at a close second. The only reason I mentioned those two is to see Connecticut is really up there, but it does have nationwide and Colorado being, I guess, the lowest. So the two reasons that were given for anti-vaccines that are allowed, maybe not in Connecticut, but around the US, are medical and religious. And since we founded this country based on the idea of separation of church and state, religious is a very important factor. But let's stop and take a look at the medical. And I have a video for you to look at.
No formula, just mommy's healthy natural breast milk.
Yummy.
The whole face just got swollen like this overnight.
Mm-hmm. No fever. Gland's normal. Missing her vaccination dates.
We're not vaccinating.
Think they don't work?
I think some multinational pharmaceutical company wants me to think they work. Pad their bottom line.
May I? Ribbit. 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 All natural, no dyes. It's a good business. All natural children's toys. Toy companies. They don't arbitrarily mark up their frauds. They don't lie about how much they spend on research and development. The worst thing a toy company could be accused of is making a really boring fraud. Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. You know another really good business? Teeny tiny baby coffins. You can get them in frog green, fire engine red. Really? The antibodies in Yummy Mummy only protect the kid for 6 months, which is why these companies think they can gouge you. They think that you'll spend whatever they ask to keep the kid alive. Want to change things? Come along. A few hundred parents like you decide they'd rather let their kid die than cough up $40 for a vaccination. Believe me, prices will drop really fast. Ruby, 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 Ruby.
Tell me what she has.
A cold.
The medical exemption is written by a doctor and states that the person not receiving the injection is allergic or can otherwise not tolerate the vaccine.
Please! It's not nice for little boys and girls to behave like lunatics.
Hey, take it easy, champ. It's just a simple little test.
Bianca here, Goya.
There. See? Nothing to it.
How long before you know if they're allergic?
Just a couple minutes.
Oh, good. Dr. Pierce,
Yeah.
look,
What is it?
She's having a reaction to the serum.
Same thing over here, Hawk. All these people are reacting. What we need now is cool, calm leadership, and thanks to Colonel Potter's dubious selection, we have none. We have to dilute.
why, what's the problem?
Full-strength inoculations could put them into anaphylactic shock.
I'll make arrangements for everybody to stay overnight.
I'm really sorry for all this fuss. I appreciate your help.
Well, don't be too grateful. You haven't eaten dinner yet.
Madness
previous inoculations, but they're reacting to the skin tests.
Every one of them is allergic to it, and we can't figure out why.
I'll tell you why. The only meat these folks get is horse meat. It sensitizes the whole system. You're using horse serum, aren't you? They're allergic to it.
Of course. Given time, I would have deduced the same thing.
I have looked up a couple of references to the Judeo-Christian Bibles that talk about altering the body. And Leviticus chapter 19 verse 28 says, "Ye shall not make cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor print any marks upon you. I am the Lord." And I believe that this quote is talking about cuttings not in the vaccine sense, but more in the depression, I'm going to cut myself to make myself feel better type sense. And this makes sense. You shouldn't hurt yourself just because you're mourning another. But why not have a tattoo or a memory of somebody that has passed? It's not like you're holding them above God. I'm not talking about the 10 Commandments and holding God highest. I'm just stating some beliefs and hoping to educate on those beliefs. In 1 Corinthians chapter 6 verses 19 through 20, "What? Know ye not that your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost, which is in you, which ye have of God, and ye are not your own?" I'm sorry, but I do not like this because it makes it seem like your body is not yours. And that's just something I'm not willing to accept. I'm alive. I am my own being. I should be able to choose what is able to touch my body, go through my body, and what is not. If we look at current religion/culture and what it says about anti-vaccinations, Islam and Judaism, religions with dietary prohibitions that regard particular animals as unclean, will also stop vaccines and medications derived from that. You can see that connection back in the episode of MASH that I showed you. Also, in opposition, the Taliban has believed that immunizations made in America are part of fatwas, FATWAS, at least that's the English translation. And that means that Americans are trying to sterilize Muslims. I'm sorry, this belief probably does have its foundations in paranoia. It could be in other cultures, but I don't see my government being the type to stop others from reproducing. So that's just my belief so far of my research. The last article that I want to share with you today is about the recent outbreak with measles. I went to college during the swine flu epidemic, and people became so frightened that they locked themselves away in fear of contracting this disease. The police station on campus created housing specifically for those infected who couldn't leave campus and go outside of state home or outside of country home. Well, that's not something that we want with the measles. But the article that Tara C. Smith, a professor at Kent State University, talks about is threefold. First, the California pediatrician with ties to the anti-vaccine movement, Dr. Bob Sears, suggested that measles is nothing to fear. And the article's author states in big bold letters, this is not a benign disease. back in 1989 to 1991, there were tons of deaths associated with the measles, and that's why vaccines became very important. I myself was vaccinated, and I believe it was right around that time. I was born a little bit before that. And the Measles Association of Pneumonia called it a superbug, that it was immune to various antibiotics. Well, that's a scary thought, of things being immune to anything we can do to help prevent it or help make the symptoms less. But modern times America has Bart Barrett, a physician who saw patients at the height of the epidemic, recalling 123 deaths, and he himself was unvaccinated, and he looked at percentages and things of what could help. Now, the suggestions for avoiding bad situations are: a best defense against measles is to be up to date on your MMR vaccinations, checking that you live in a neighborhood and a school system where others are vaccinated instead of spreading it around. And the best way to respect measles is to acknowledge its potential to cause serious illness. So I guess that's the moral of the story, and I hope you liked learning a little bit about medical and religious views as well as the measles themselves. Take a look at the articles if you see fit, and keep yourself posted.